So I was trying to find some of the worst creepypastas ever made, and I was searching through Google, found some top 10 lists that were garbage, and then I stumbled upon this troll pasta wiki that I'd actually never heard of, that has a category of bad creepypastas that includes 2,576 total stories. So we've got plenty to look at. Let's try and find some bad creepypastas. Okay, so this one is called The Laughing Man. I took a walk one day just to admire the forest until I was corrupted by him. It all started like this. I was such a good man. I always loved ghostly type things like the Slender Man, Masky and Hoodie, and the Observe Eater. And then I became one of them. I was the Laughing Man. I had a demonic laugh that was the most scariest thing you'll ever hear. Mainly, this is only a message just so you'll know me. So won't you join us? My favorite thing about this story is that its sole purpose is to somehow, I guess, insert himself onto, the Mount Rushmore of creepypasta characters, because there's, no content in this story whatsoever. You're in the forest, and then you were corrupted by him. Who is him? Is he the Laughing Man, or are you the Laughing Man? Is there, a society of laughing men? I am very confused at what the story in this story is actually about. The game that killed him. Hello, everyone. First off, I would like to say, please don't play The Pointer, the game which has caused my brother to die. This is just a warning, for I do not wish for any further incidents of people playing the game to kill anyone else. If I couldn't help my brother, perhaps I should warn you, so I can help you. Thanks for listening. My brother and I recently got a Game Boy Advance from a friend of a friend. He said that he loved that Game Boy Advance, but he had to give it for anonymous reasons, saying that he would feel very heaty after playing a game called The Pointer, which was somehow not known at all, and he said he found the cartridge on the floor in front of the store he bought the Game Boy Advance from. My brother and I were quite excited, for this was our first time we had an actual portable gaming device so that we could play. Also, I should note that the friend of my friend gave us the Pointer too. So we started up the Game Boy Advance. My brother was first to play since he was younger than me. The title screen came up, but weird enough, there was no kind of theme song I could recognize, just weird sounding static. There was no opening card. The main menu looked like it was rushed through. The Pointer was written in Comic Sans, and so were all the options. The options I could pick were Settings, Play, and Quit. We selected play, and it went to the first level. It was an extremely bad game. I don't even think the name of the game has anything to do with it. The background was a night sky with some stars at the top and a very badly drawn moon, looking like it was done in MS Paint and done in 5 seconds. The ground looked really realistic, though. A guy was walking around on the grass, and then after 3 seconds he started to run around and slipped and fell. By now, my brother was freaking out. I couldn't figure something out, but I started to get the feeling that he knew something I didn't. He was sweating really bad now. Our parents walked through the door and they went into our room where we were playing the game. We showed them the game. They said okay and went away. My brother was sweating excessively by now, and he was trying to press the arrow keys as if something were on them. I kept looking at his face, wondering why he was sweating so bad. He beat the first level and a cutscene played. The man was now close up to the screen, and he started sweating like my brother. His sweat was awfully realistic. Suddenly, my brother's sweat became kind of, pink. I showed him a mirror and he freaked out. I got a tissue and wiped his face. His sweat was really red now. I had to get more tissues. He was getting white, and I realized he was sweating blood. The man on screen was sweating too. Blood. My brother was getting too white, so we ran to get our parents. This was only when we were 9, so we had no idea what to do. My brother fainted on the way to the room. When we got to the room, my mother was with my father, who was lying on the bed. I showed him my brother, and he was shocked. He called the ambulance, and the ambulance came and took him to the hospital. Aftermath. Unfortunately for my brother, He was stuck in a coma. On May 2006, my brother was pronounced dead by an unknown reason. This is my experience, and I hope no one else plays the game. I forgot to mention something. Before my brother fainted, he told me he had seen a very sinister, dead-looking face on the buttons he pressed. He told me he heard a deep voice saying, "The Black Witch." If this is vital information for anyone who can help me figure out the cause of his death, please help. Okay, so I've got some thoughts, I've got some theories about the game that killed him. It does leave me with a lot of questions, like, why did the friend of a friend have to give an anonymous reason for why he had to give up the game? Like, is that the influence of the Black Witch? Like, I'm already starting to create this narrative that there's a Black Witch influence on everything that's happening here, because the brother is freaking out at the game, he's sweating really bad, and the parents walk in, they come inside the room where they're playing the game, and they say okay and go away. So either the parents are just the most least observant motherfuckers on the planet, or the Black Witch has some influence here. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of the game that killed him. The Handless Man. School had just gotten out. It was the beginning of winter vacation, so I grabbed my friends and we drove to my place. We went to my room to play some video games, but we'd played everything I had a million times. "Hey, what do you guys want to play?" I asked the group. "Hey, we all like Mortal Kombat, right?" my friend Mitch asked. "Yes," we all agreed in unison. Mortal Kombat was our favorite fighting game, so I went to the Xbox Live Marketplace and downloaded the Mortal Kombat arcade collection. We bickered over which one to play first, but we finally agreed on Mortal Kombat 2. Me and Mitch went first, then Dave and Richard. We played for hours trying to figure out all the moves, but I finally gave in and looked at the moves list. I scanned Sub-Zero's fatalities and saw something I had never heard of. A summon. Back in elementary school, we played this game a lot, but never heard of summons. So, as expected, everyone yelled at me to do it, as I was the best at doing fatalities. As soon as I finished the button sequence, the screen dimmed and a portal opened up next to Sub-Zero. The portal swirled and the color of it continually changed. "What the hell is this?" Dave exclaimed. "Yeah, I don't remember these," Richard quietly said. The animation continued, and a man in a brown trench coat came out of the portal. He floated over to my opponent Jax and raised his arms. The man had no hands. Swords made of bone began to grow out of the stubs. He sliced Jack in half, blood spraying everywhere, and the announcer said, "The Handless Man wins." Dave, who I had been fighting, just stared at the screen. "Dude, Dave," I asked nervously, "are you okay?" Dave continued to stare. I poked him and he split in half just like Jax, blood spraying onto the floor. "Ah!" we all screamed. "What the fuck just happened? What the fuck? Call 911, do something!" The rest of the week, nobody talked with anyone. The event just had us so shaken up. I deleted the game and never played Mortal Kombat again in our local arcade. "Honey, I'm going out. I'll see you tomorrow," my mom shouted up to me. "Love you, bye," I shouted back. I turned on my Xbox and went through my recent games. The arcade collection was there. "What the hell?" I said under my breath. I loaded the game, and when it got to the title screen, a black monitor greeted me. I could hear the announcer saying that the Handless Man wins in the background. I turned off the Xbox and went downstairs to get a snack. Someone knocked at the door. "Hello?" The door burst open, pieces of it flying across the room. The Handless Man walked in. This was the first time I had a good look at him. He was at least 8 feet tall, wore a brown fedora and trench coat, had tinted glasses, and no hands. His bone swords emerged and he started swinging at me. He cut my chest and blood spurted out, spraying everywhere. The place where he had cut me felt like someone was pressing a hot poker into it. I screamed in pain and grabbed the nearest object to me. It was my pocket knife. I flipped out the blade and sliced at the man's face. I broke his glasses and cut the bridge of his nose. Under the glasses there were no eyes, just empty sockets that hurt to look at. I backed up. He sliced again, this time catching my arm. Blood sprayed onto the wall. I'd lost so much blood I began to feel woozy. I felt the man pick me up. The last thing I saw before I passed out was those empty sockets. The following week I was at the hospital. My right hand had been cut off and my left arm broken. I'll never know for sure who the handless man really was. I remember as a child, my dad losing both of his hands in an accident. And that's just, like, the end of the story. Like, when I was in the middle of reading that, I was like, I don't know, maybe this isn't that bad of a creepypasta. And then it ends with, when I was a kid, I remember my dad losing both his hands. Like, handless man, your dad lost his, like, that wouldn't have ever been a connection earlier on in the story. And also, like, your friend gets sliced in half and everybody just, like, doesn't talk for a couple days. There's no criminal investigation. Nobody goes to jail. Everything's just regular. Oh yeah, my friend was sliced in half in my bedroom and nobody knew what happened, but everything was just regular life after that. I just had to cope. Because I'm serious, this story has potential in general. The idea of like playing a game that you're familiar with and then it has some strange feature that you never saw there, your friend getting cut in half and you not realizing until you actually touch him, like that's a creepy visual, but then some of the other storytelling elements fall apart. So like I think that a lot of these writers that are going to be featured if we continue this series have some genuine writing talent and some creepy ideas, but it's just putting it all together and not throwing in a line about your dad being the handless man at the end of it. It's just, oh my god. Hey, if you like sort of spooky content with a little bit of a comedic twist, there'll be a playlist in the top right corner if you're interested. I'm also going to be streaming tonight on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing some old school RuneScape, just having a chill time and talking to you guys. If you're interested, come on through. There'll be a link in the description and the comments. And yeah, I hope to see you guys soon. I'd like to give a major shout out to Hannah, Matthew Kendall, Caitlin, Beth the Dork, Ashton Jacobson, June, ... Bobby Brain, Alicia, Catco, Kennedy DeSilvis, Tay Hyper Ninja Child, Jared D, Regrettable Stitches, Allison B, Fiona Fox, Kaya Bay, and Brittany, as well as everyone else you see on your screen for being top tier channel members. You guys are the best. And yeah, skate on to the best of your abilities. Make sure you're drinking a sufficient amount of water, and I'll see you super soon. Stay safe out there. The handless man wins.